says, well, this is the only best way to decongest Bengaluru, and we're not asking for advice. If you really want to help, then bring funds from the centre. We'll take you through details along with our experts on whether the tunnel project is really feasible or not. And finally, Amazon layoffs. As it begins, it's not just Amazon, also Target, a company that largely is headquartered in the United States but also has operations in India, is now downsizing. We will take you through details on that. And our top story on our day tonight, President Draupadi Murmu today, wearing all the IAF gear, becomes the first to fly in a Rafale. All those images and a lot more. Headlines first. At Muzaffarpur rally, Rahul Gandhi says Prime Minister Modi can even dance for votes. Comes right ahead of Bihar elections. He says Modi is willing to do anything for publicity. Now this has been slammed. He's received a lot of criticism for making a point against the Prime Minister. At the Darbhanga rally, Amit Shah says Lalu and Sonia want to crown their sons CM and PM, but both posts are not vacant. Calls India bloc Mahathagbandhan, mired in scams from fodder to land for jobs, basically criminals who've come together as allies. Here at the UNGA session, India rejects baseless and biased claims linking April's Pahalgam terror attack to Myanmar refugees. MP Dilip Saikia accuses UN report of viewing the incident through a communal lens. Cyclone Monta crosses Andhra coast, leaving 2 dead, damaging crops across 1.5 lakh acres in Andhra Pradesh. Power and transport affected. Telangana too has witnessed heavy rains as the cyclone has moved inland. DMK leader R.S. Bharati urges Election Commission to postpone special intensive revision citing monsoon disruptions, festive absentees and fears of Bihar-like voter list manipulation. He alleges ulterior motive behind the hurried schedule. Basically, DMK refusing for the voter list cleanup. And here, former Indian cricket captain, Congress MLC Mohammad Azharuddin to be sworn in as a minister in Telangana under the governor's quota, as Congress eyes minority support there ahead of the Jubilee Hill by-poll next month, where even the AIADMK, for that matter, beg your pardon, the AIMIM, in fact, holds quite some sway in the area. So Azharuddin's entry as a minister could help Congress swing votes. Elon Musk's Starlink to demo satellite internet services for security agencies in Mumbai on October 30th and 31st. Launch to follow after approval, with gateways planned in Mumbai, Chennai and Noida ahead of spectrum allocation by November end at least. Masood Azhar, as they all are now set to train women in jihad activities. A 21-minute audio clip has surfaced. Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar in that unveils a plan for new women brigade, Jamaat-ul Muminat, detailing radical training courses to indoctrinate and deploy female recruits for jihad. All right, let's start with our top story on the Bengaluru tunnel project. Bengaluru's proposed tunnel project, the tunnel road project that's now become a fresh flashpoint in Bengaluru. In fact, the opposition in Karnataka calls the Bengaluru tunnel road project an absolute waste of money. That money is going down the drain. It's an expensive spend for real, in fact, solution is not that there are ways to decongest traffic, not the tunnel project. BJP says the tunnel project is a waste of money. The party, though, Congress party, says on the other hand that this is possibly the best way to decongest central Bengaluru. BJP argues that this is going to attract more cars instead of decongesting the city, while the Congress says there are already so many cars, we've got to look for a quick solution, and this is the best one they could think of. Well, remember just a day ago, BJP MP Tejasvi Surya met with Deputy Chief Minister DK to propose scrapping the 17,800 crore tunnel project. The two are now locked in a war of words on social platforms. Tejasvi Surya says the funds should instead go into expanding public transport. DK Shivkumar says that the MP himself has failed to get any funds from the centre and nobody wants any advice. If you're offering anything, please offer some money, bring money from the centre. DK Shivkumar has fired back at Tejasvi Surya saying that people are going to use vehicles irrespective. Even as much as we expand public transport, people will bring their vehicles out on the streets. Exactly what he said, and I'm quoting for you. Can I stop people from bringing their vehicles? It's a matter of social responsibility. People prefer to travel in their own vehicles with their families. Can we prevent them from using their cars? If needed, then MPs can appeal to their constituents to leave their cars at home and use public transport. Let's see how many actually follow that. Today, people even hesitate to marry a boy who does not own a car. Remember, this message of DK Shivkumar has come as fodder for the BJP, Tejasvi Surya, who's fired back. Tejasvi, in response to that, says, for all these days, I thought the tunnel project was meant to solve Bengaluru's traffic problem, but now DK Shivkumar says it's to solve a social problem of people not wanting to marry men without cars. How stupid was I? Tejasvi's response. In fact, Tejasvi Surya earlier had pointed out that the proposed tunnel project would cater to only about 1,800 cars per hour in only one direction, compared to a metro line that will move people instead of vehicles, and nearly 69,000 passengers that would be moved at that same cost. He, in fact, proposed a comprehensive citywide mobility plan. Tejasvi Surya said the government should look at expanding the metro line. 300 kilometers metro network should expand with trains every 3 minutes. And a 314-kilometer suburban rail system, tram lines for short distances and high-frequency shuttle buses along the outer ring road to ensure last-mile connectivity. Tejasvi Surya also asked for activating the Bengaluru Metropolitan Land Transport Authority and appointing a full-time chairperson to coordinate projects across agencies. Well, a legit ask to which DK Shivkumar responded saying, well, we're not opposing Tejasvi Surya's ideas, but what we're saying is that we don't have the money, so bring the money from the centre. Get money from the central government. He says Karnataka receives only 10 to 12% of the project costs from the centre. And that's unfair because it's the opposition state hinting at how the centre is holding back on funds. So ask Tejasvi Surya to first get the money and then we could talk about expanding public transport. Now, the proposed tunnel project, 16.75 kilometer tunnel that connects Silk Board and Hebbal, aims to cut 45 minutes of travel time and bypass nearly 25 choke points. It will run deep under central Bengaluru, even beneath Lalbagh, with officials assuring that only 1 acre will be used temporarily and restored later. But tender documents of that tunnel project reveal another layer to this. The government plans to offer 6 acres of land at 5 prime city locations, right in the center of the city, allowing the private, whoever bids for this tunnel project, those private bidders or developers are going to be allowed to use an unprecedented floor space in Bengaluru Central of a floor space index of up to 5, which is 5 times over the current limit. This is basically to attract bidders that if you're spending on the project, then this is what you'll get, a commercial space right in the heart of the city. Experts warn that this relaxation could encourage high-rise buildings in sensitive green zones along the tunnel corridor, inviting more vehicles rather than kill congestion. Mobility experts, of course, now question whether digging beneath a congested, already full Bengaluru Central and a flood-prone city, which Bengaluru is really the best that we can think for Bengaluru's future. Is this really the solution to solve Bengaluru's traffic? A 45-minute promise or a 17,800 crore experiment? Bengaluru's tunnel debate has only just begun. Let me take you through what DK Shivkumar said after meeting Tejasvi Surya.
ಈಗ ಯಾರು ಈಗ ನೀವು ಬರೋದು ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ನಿಮ್ ಗಾಡಿ ತರೋದನ್ನ ನಿಲ್ಸಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತದ? ಎಲ್ಲಾರು ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್, ಗಂಡ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಇಬ್ರು ಕಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಓಡಾಡಬೇಕು, ಮಕ್ಳನ್ನ ಕಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಓಡಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಕೂಲವ್ರ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಕಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳ್ಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಗಾಡಿನೇ ತಗೋಬೇಡ, ಅವ್ರು ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಜನತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಮನೆಗೆ ನಿಲ್ಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಮೆಟ್ರೋ ಓಡಾಡಿ, ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಸ್ ಓಡಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಅಪೀಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ. 4 ಜನ MP ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಇದು ಕಾರಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮನೆಗೆ ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ.
All right, for those I could translate, DK Shivkumar says, can I ask people not to bring their cars? What are we going to do about cars already on the streets? We've got to find a solution. This is a futuristic project. People should support it instead of looking at faults into it. Let me bring in our experts to give us a little more. Satya Prakash, Vice Chairperson and the spokesperson of the Congress of KPCC. We also have Ashok Gowda, BJP spokesperson, Dr. Ashish Verma, convener of the Sustainable Transportation Lab at the Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, joins us. He's an expert on this. Vivek Menon, of course, civic expert and former advisor to the Karnataka Chief Minister. Thanks very much, all of you, for joining us. I don't want to make this political, but we are forced to, considering that DK Shivkumar and Tejasvi have been having this war of words on social platforms. But before I get to that, let me bring in our experts. If I could start with Vivek Menon, you've been the advisor to the Karnataka Chief Minister earlier. I know you've given multiple solutions to decongest Bengaluru. Was a tunnel project ever one on your mind? And what do you think of it? That's what's being proposed by the Karnataka government. Do you believe this will be really what's needed, a solution that's needed?
So the traffic problem in Bangalore is nothing new, right? But unfortunately, or fortunately, we do have a system of roads, a network of roads, a radial system and a circular system that can potentially, if, designed right, if the bottlenecks are removed, you can actually move traffic from the north to the south. Now, this particular tunnel is specifically to just do that. Now, going by our record of making sure that tunnels don't flood, I think this is not a project that can be, completely insulated from it either. We have seen these magic boxes, tragic boxes as we call them, which were small boxes that ended up flooding. And I don't think this particular tunnel project really has a plan in place to ensure that it never floods. So, looking at it, the unfortunate part here is, whenever there's a big project like this that is studied, you need to do a major investment study and you need to take the time to be able to do it correctly. Unfortunately, what has happened is this particular project has been envisioned by a politician who probably on his visit somewhere to the world, and I know that he was in New York, probably saw a tunnel there and said, hey, this is a great fix, let's just do it. And you've got the entire bureaucracy running after it, ensuring that they can actually bring out a report that substantiates it. Now, to get over this problem, the specific tunnel that they're talking about from, Hebbal to Silk Board, we already have an outer ring road that connects these 2 points. Now, if we were to actually make this outer ring road a access controlled facility with high-speed ramps, and I've been saying this and saying this for the past 10 years, you could get people from one end to the other in the same 30 minutes or 25 minutes that they're talking about right now. The unfortunate part today is that there's such a trust deficit between the government and the people. I today believe that such large projects are proposed more so to probably siphon off funds. This is not necessarily to solve a traffic problem or a social problem as they've made it today. It is basically to propose large projects. For the past 2.5 years, we have been dealing with bad roads that are potholed. Imagine a pothole in a road can slow down the traffic down to zero. So this is more of a transit-oriented problem. I always say that, it's the entire trip that makes the difference, right? You're starting at a particular origin, you're going to a destination. There are certain areas where you will go through congested urban streets. But if you have a high-speed facility that links to it, then the entire duration of the trip is reduced. And that's what we do in transit-oriented studies all across the world. And I've done this in Houston, I've done this in many other parts of the world.
Yeah.
So the bottom line here is, unfortunately, you've got a politician and a bureaucracy that is today hell-bent on bringing the politician's wishes to fruition, as against looking at the problem itself and saying that there are low-lying fruit. There are short-term measures that can be implemented today to achieve the same result. So if you would
a quick take, a quick take on what are the best other alternative solutions.
The best other alternative solutions, as I can see it, is to make the outer ring road an access control facility. Today, they've gone all the way up to the PRR and renamed it. No one within the city is going to use the PRR. The PRR is to move traffic that comes into the city outside the city itself limits and take them out. That's mostly for truck traffic. But no one is going to use that. And Mr. Shivkumar actually again proposed it, saying that, oh, we'll reduce traffic congestion in the city. We're going to build a business corridor. Now, all businesses are not going to pick up their things and move to the PRR. So I think what is happening essentially is that there are a lot of bureaucrats who are basically trying to design the city's infrastructure. And what you need is actually technocrats, people who understand. I mean, you've got Ashish over here and the Indian Institute of Science. In fact, I was a member of SISTUP too, where you have technical people who can actually study the entire ecosystem. It's not one against the other. It's
no,
not
but I'm surprised that expertise hasn't been factored in. I'm sure they would have taken help. Who do you think they're consulting? If not for the best in the city, I've known all of you for much over a decade, maybe nearly two. Ashish, good to see you. You and I have done so many shows on News9 itself over the years, and we've spoken about the best possible way to decongest Bengaluru. The problem that stood then still stands today. Possibly it's gotten worse. Tell us a little more. I mean, not in a viewpoint to criticize the government in any way. If the government is looking to decongest Bengaluru traffic, it should be welcomed. But is this the best solution that they could think of?
So, thanks, Nabila, for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on your show and for a long time.
Thank you.
I mean, it reminds me of the steel flower beta days when it all started. And it's so unfortunate that after 10-15 years of that, we are still in the same discussion and same debate that we are doing. I'll just leave aside which political leader or political party said what, because that's not I really want to get into. I'll keep myself purely technical. So as far as these road infrastructure measures are concerned, in this case specifically, we are talking about tunnel road. Forget about best solution. It is not a solution at all in any aspect, whether it is cost effectiveness, whether it is social obligation. You take any angle that you're trying to make in support of this tunnel road, it doesn't stand technically and otherwise. Now, social obligation. Let's take social obligation. What is the social obligation for the government? To maximize the throughput of people and good across the city at affordable cost and for all sections of people. Can tunnel road fulfill that? No, it cannot. So social obligation, if you leave aside, cost effectiveness. Yeah, you're building a system where you will create a capacity of carrying about 1,800 passengers per hour per direction for a lane width at a cost which is 1,000 crore per kilometer as being already declared by the government. Yeah, if you have a metro system, public transport system running for the same width of one lane where you can put one track of metro, you would generate a capacity of moving people almost 40 times more for same cost or lesser cost for constructing that. So how do you justify in any way such an investment which will give you low capacity system in the first place? So you're not maximizing the throughput, you are not cost effective. At the same time, when you are constructing these kind of projects, you are only encouraging more and more people to use personal vehicles. That would only increase the consumption of energy. That means fossil fuel, whether it is petrol, diesel, or even electricity that's being consumed to transport people. It will increase tailpipe emissions. Yeah. So all in all, there are no benefits as far as solving.
But there's one statement DK made which one can't really refuse. He says that I can't force people not to use their cars. Eventually, no matter what amount of public transport comes, you have people still using their cars, wanting to go, take a drive. Bengaluru city is such a lovely, has the best weather. So, this is an elitist opinion, but that's also a fact that you can't force people against using their cars.
No, I'll give you a technical answer to that. I think we are misinformed about this. If you really look at how cities which are seen as the best example of being sustainable and livable, what is that they have actually done? Technically, I call it as combination of push and pull measures. Okay. When you construct more infrastructure for public transport, that's a pull measure. That means you're trying to increase the network, the services, etc., and trying to pull them. But along with that, you also need push measures, which basically disincentivizes ownership and use of car. You're not banning or you're not restricting. Nowhere in the world any country has banned or restricted anybody from buying car. But you are disincentivizing through certain sets of measures, ownership as well as use of car. It's a very fine set of combination of things. For example, Singapore you take. Does Singapore has banned, owning car? No, but they have disincentivized through measures. One is if you have to buy a car, you first need to get a certificate of entitlement for which you pay a hefty sum. Okay. After you get a certificate of entitlement, and if you go and buy a car, for initial 10 years of tax, the lifetime tax, so-called what we call here, you are asked to pay roughly 100,000, a lakh Singapore dollars. So that means if you're buying a car of 7 to 8 lakhs, you are made to pay tax of 70, 80 lakhs. Okay. So they have not.
And Karnataka has the highest road tax also.
That is just 10%. Of the cost of the vehicle, nowhere close to what they have done.
Okay, but it has to be a same standard across the country, and still Karnataka is one of the highest. No, but just to a little more into layer, the documents, the tender documents that we see is it says the government also promises that we are going to give FSI 5 a space that is unprecedented to the bidder who's going to be investing in the tunnel project. Which means that in central Bengaluru, you'll have more commercial towers coming up where office spaces might just come in there, which is known as a green and a sensitive zone. Right now, it's categorized as green sensitive because it's already congested. And now you're going to give those who are investing in the tunnel projects huge space where nearly a 40-floor building can come up in a 5,000 square feet area. That's the space the government is giving just to attract bidders. That's scary. That's really scary to me.
So if I just add, ma'am, we have simulated this tunnel road through our, network level simulation model that we have developed for Bengaluru. And in the best possible case, the traffic that is being attracted with the toll that they have proposed is hardly 10% of the proposed capacity that they are going to build with 3-lane road on each direction. Okay. So it has been, I think, quite well understood by bidders that this is an unviable project purely on the traffic volume forecast. Because
you're saying that they won't be takers for it, that bidders won't come forward only.
Yes, okay. That's exactly I'm saying, for this reason that with the level of toll that they are proposed and which they have to charge to even make it viable, economically, financially viable, with that level of toll, the attracted traffic is very less. You are going to pay roughly around 280 to 300 rupees for one-way trip on this 18 kilometer. So if you go from home to office and come back, every day you are going to shell out 600 rupees.
Oh, wow. So so then if that's the price I'm paying for the toll, then why would I know for a fact that going to the airport in Bengaluru, you have to pass through the toll, and you have cab drivers taking all the Halli areas on the side, the peripheral lanes to get to the airport without paying toll charges. So they are going to find a way to congest the roads that surround the tunnel.
So I'll just complete, which is the reason why I think government has also understood that unless they offer some other commercial, options to the bidders, there will not be any takers.
All right, but 300 rupees to 600 rupees, you're saying, will be the toll itself to pass through that tunnel. Bengaluru Yeah, up and down. Yeah, Bengaluru is elite. You know, you have it's known to be a billionaire city. You have the richest of people living in Bengaluru. So possibly that's also an angle, right? Like, why wouldn't people want to pay? Let me bring in a Congress spokesperson for a little more on what was the thought behind the tunnel project. Satya Prakash, please go on.
See, Nabila, for any city, there will be short-term solutions, there will be long-term solutions. Today, vehicle population in Bangalore is somewhere around 1.4 crores or more than 1.4 crores for 1.4 crore people. That means every house has around 4 to 5 vehicles. That includes 4-wheelers and 2-wheelers.
Yeah.
Now, we also need to understand what is this tunnel road all about. Like most people say, you know, mass transport system. But mass transport system for metro, what has the central government given till date? It has given a piddly 18% till date. 82% the state government is spending. Modi is not giving a single paisa for the last 1.5 years for the metro project. How can we do metro project is what DKS-Tejasvi asked Mr. Tejasvi Surya. People are talking about suburban railway. Suburban railway more or less is shelved because 2 contractors, L&T and everyone have backed out. So suburban railway also is on the back burner. It is not going to come front. Now, why this tunnel road? Tunnel road is because unclogging the city's central artery, the traffic artery. The corridor between Silk Board and Hebbal is the worst, traffic in not only in India, as far as traffic woes are concerned, across the world. So to unclog this traffic right now, on a short-term basis, we are doing this tunnel project. While the metro will be there.
Yeah,
metro
it's simultaneous expansion. That's the approach.
Now,
but, my question is that this is for our experts. When the Hebbal flyover was coming up, the 20-kilometer long flyover towards the airport, there was such hue and cry, people condemning it, saying, why do we want better public transport to the airport? We don't need a flyover. That's encouraging. But I can't even imagine going to the Bengaluru airport if that flyover did not exist today. So, Vivek, a quick rebuttal. I'll come to you, sir.
1 second.
Yeah, I'll come to you, sir.
Nabila, I will put a very important point.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the government's view will not be there in this show at all.
Oh, no, absolutely. I'll give you your time. I was just basically trying to...
Yeah, I think in a sense, Nabila, you make a point over there. The bottom line is that we do need good roads. We do need flyovers across the city, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, let's try to make do with the existing infrastructure that is already crumbling as compared to trying to build new infrastructure. So the way I see it, the outer ring road was planned to decongest the city. Right? You have 7 radial roads that go from the center of the city to all of the outlying parts, north, south, east, and west. Then we ensured that we actually connect those with an outer ring road. Right? Now, every city almost has that. They have loops, right? Now, what we have done with the outer ring road is instead of classifying it as a freeway facility and ensuring that you have high-speed on-ramps, high-speed off-ramps, so that the traffic on that road can achieve a minimum speed of at least 45 to 50 kilometers per hour, we have actually brought it down to 10 to 5 kilometers per hour crawling speed. Because why? We have congestion points at Kyarpuram which have not been addressed. So, if we were to address even the Hebbal flyover today that you're talking about, this Hebbal, junction, what it needs is a diamond interchange. It needs an 8-way interchange where there is unfettered access to every direction of traffic. That's the way these freeway systems are designed and defined. And if we were to do that, we could very easily take all the traffic that's coming down from, the airport and take it all the way down to South Bangalore. Now, the other point I wanted to quickly make was that the National Highway Authority of India, unfortunately, has NH4 that comes and stops at Hebbal, right? Now, why not put the onus on NHAI to build a connectivity between North and South Bangalore? So there are innovative ways of actually being able to fund this and probably improve the mobility along the outer ring road. And with that, I think we can very easily solve this problem.
So you already have an outer ring road which isn't being oiled enough. That's your concern. Ashok Gowda, as a BJP spokesperson, sir, the only reason to why the BJP's objections sometimes fall flat is because the party itself endorses great roads and expanding the city in every direction. You all have done tunnel projects in other states. So why opposing the one in Bengaluru?
Nabila, I'm a qualified architect with
Sir.
my post-graduation from September, which is a 4th best university for plant studies, urban plant studies. I've done my urban planning also in post-graduation. So this is my qualification. I'm not just a BJP spokesperson.
Yeah.
On this panel, I'm speaking on.
Yeah.
Now, why do we are opposing the tunnel road? First thing is, this tunnel road in the DPR, if you see very clearly, first they say that if the central government aid is not below 30%, then it is not viable. They are saying it should be minimum 30 to 40%. Then, if you are asking for the 30 to 40% of the central government aid, then why can't you not do the metro or suburban rails? That is a question to Satya Prakash ji. Now, what is the problem with the tunnel road? Tunnel road is going to solve the problem of the city by only 3 to 5%, which I myself have analyzed completely. And what is the solution? As our experts are saying, Vivek is saying, as well as Ashish is saying, there are bottlenecks on the same road when we are going from, I stay in Silk Road. I do travel to Hepala. There are bottlenecks, only 5 bottlenecks. If there is a political will, the solution can be found. Only because there is no political will, the solution is not there. We get choked by more than 40 to 50 minutes on these bottlenecks. That is the problem.
So you're not opposing it only because it's a Congress-led project.
Let me complete it. The tunnel road, there is an environmental concern. That is point number 1. Why we are opposing. Second is, tunnel road is not going to solve the city's problem. It is going to enhance the problem because the maximum capacity for the PCUs which will be built is only 3,600, which according to the report itself, it says by 2041, which will be achieved, and then there should be one more tunnel. Will that be planned? Now, whereas a CPM, that is Comprehensive Mobility Plan of 2020 or the proposed for 2031, it directly opposes this entire tunnel plan is not part of it. And as well as the city, entire city, where is the city growing? When we saw that the city will be growing from Chikballapura to Ramnagar, Tumkuru to Vasur. And if that is the growth of the city which is going to happen by 2047, then what is the proposal for the city's plan and what is the mobility plan for the entire area? And what will be the new CBDs and SPDs? So how are you planning? And as well as in the entire world, wherever you see, tunnels are proposed only to cross the river or to cross high density pathway areas like CBD areas, only for short distance, not like this 16.5 kilometers, where in a city like Bengaluru, actually it does not need. In Monterello, only because the temperature is below 10 degrees, so they have a tunnel road. So only when a special situation is there, you build a tunnel road, not in a city like Bengaluru. So please, somebody should make DK Shivakumar understand that the proposal.
So we have the Congress spokesperson back. So yeah, please, we were waiting for you to be patched again.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think this program is designed to tell that tunnel project. 3 people and including you want to tell that tunnel project is not.
Sir, it's my duty to ask. It's my duty to ask. I'm not declaring anything. In fact, I'm advocating for it. I'm saying other BJP ruled states has a tunnel project. Why is the BJP opposing it here?
No. Satya Prakash,
I don't think
actually
politicians
send
should
an
be
upper panel
deciding these things.
from Congress
That's
party.
the sad part over here.
Okay, Satya Prakash, we'll allow him to speak, please, sir.
See, I'll draw all of your attention to 2013 to 2018. Even till date, today is 2025, all the so-called urban experts said so many things about the steel bridge. Till today, that particular stretch we are having a problem. Today people are feeling, alas, if we had not listened to all these urban planners, if that steel bridge would have been there, today the problem that we are facing for all those guys who are going to airport, today also there is a problem. No one has given a solution to it. So people who crib, people who cry, keep on crying. The government, my friend Vivek was telling, how can we allow politicians to do it? We have got the mandate of the people of Karnataka. No urban planner has got the mandate from the people of Karnataka. So you keep on cribbing.
Urban planners are not contesting elections.
You have to allow me.
Yes, sir.
You have to allow me.
Okay, go on. I have barely 2 minutes. Satya, please go on.
See, you
See,
should,
we
you
have
should
the
not be
mandate of the
authoritative
people of
autocratic leaders.
Karnataka. We will do this. See, please
Okay,
understand.
you
We
will do
this.
it. Nana, we've heard DK Shivakumar
We will
says
do this. And
only
tomorrow
God
all
can
people
stop me.
think
So he is very
people of
sure
Bangalore will be very, very
this is
happy
not
about
going to
the
turn out
Karnataka
like the Bengaluru steel project where people stood on the road and protested and shelved
Today what
the
happened?
Karnataka
Today
government
what
shelved the
happened? After
project.
7, 8 years
Doesn't
of
seem
the
like DK
negotiations.
Shivakumar is willing to budge here. A final word I'll give. Ashish Gada quickly.
Shivakumar will
Sorry,
emerge,
Ashish.
will emerge as a champion of the people of Bangalore for this project. Believe me.
Right, sir.
Believe me.
Okay, sir. Ashish.
I would only say in conclusion 2 points. One is mobility. Urban mobility is a complex system. Looks very easy to solve, but it's extremely complex. For Bangalore to be sustainable and livable, we need at least 80% of all daily trips to happen on public transport, walking, cycling. That will never happen when you construct projects like tunnel. So car-centric road projects, whether it is Karnataka or any other state or any other Indian city, are not good, not at all solutions. So irrespective of which state or which party, I have equal and same opinion. All such car-centric projects across all India.
People of Karnataka will decide on this. In 28 people of Karnataka, when this project gets completed,
Okay, so you got to start.
Will start clapping.
Sir, so the whole question is, it all comes down to, while you have the main issue is to fix your roads, ensure pothole-free roads, ensure public transport is robust. Those things are not being activated. Instead, you all are jumping into a $1 million project, which is going to burn a hole in your pocket.
Both are important.
Okay, so it has to happen simultaneously.
Short-term solutions as well as long-term solutions.
Sir, Ashok Gowda, will you ask for the centre to give more funds to Karnataka's Bengaluru's metro? That's the grouse. Congress says you're not giving enough money to our metro project. That's why we need a road.
18%.
Final word. 30 seconds, sir, please.
Satya Prakash is expert in diverting, whereas in central government for a metro project or suburban rail project, any project with the honesty is shown, definitely the project fund is coming.
Okay.
Where the dishonesty is shown, where the state government is not putting the money.
You're not giving an honest pitch. That's what he says.
Central government is funding those projects also.
Okay, so centre is not funding because they don't see sincerity and honesty in your pitch. That's the rebuttal. All right. Thank you.
Stepmotherly treatment for people of Bangalore.
Yes.
And people of Bangalore will not forgive Modi for whatever he has done to Bangalore.
Right. So thank you very much.
18%.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Satya Prakash, Ashok Gowda, Ashish,
next time,
and Vivek Menon.
please give more time to the Congress guy because we have to put the government stand.
Absolutely. Okay, I will. All right. A quick break. We'll be right back on Amazon and Target laying off. That layoff process has begun today. Uncertainties loom. What's the best legal route here? Stay with us.
Irregular periods and unbearable pain. उसके लिए क्या करूं?
2 स्पून काफी है। ये प्रॉब्लम दूर करने के लिए लायन डेट सिरप। इसमें आयरन, फाइबर्स, विटामिन्स, किसी भी बीमारी से लड़ने की ताकत बहुत ज्यादा है। रोजाना 2 स्पून लायन डेट सिरप हल्के गर्म दूध में भी मिलाकर पी सकते हैं। लायन डेट सिरप रोजाना 2 स्पून।
The goat or Macross satire is back. Cyrus Roja. From politics to pop culture, from your WhatsApp forwards to breaking news, nothing and no one is safe.
Relax, guys, relax. I only roast the truth, and the truth is always hilarious. Too much pressure.
Get ready for news caustic, bold, sharp, unfiltered, 100% Cyrus.
What is to the nines? In literal terms, it's perfection. But to us, it's not just a phrase, it's an attitude. One that starts at your desk and sends a statement to the world. To the nines is about taking charge. It's a way of life where every scene, every fold, is crafted with excellence. It's timeless elegance and uncompromising quality made for the corner office. It's the ideas that inspire redefining order and elevating the tabletop. To the nines, for the leaders of today and the visionaries of tomorrow.
Welcome back. Well, the streak of layoffs in the IT sector continues. Amazon has officially and unapologetically begun cutting jobs. In India, Amazon has begun trimming its corporate workforce as part of a massive global restructuring activity. Between 800 to 1,000 employees are now expected to be laid off across divisions like finance, HR, marketing, and tech support. Globally, Amazon is slashing around 14,000 jobs, nearly 10% of its corporate workforce, in what's being called its biggest AI-driven shake-up yet. The number could go up to 30,000. The global streamline operation, in fact, the goal is right now to streamline operations. They intend to streamline operations and automate back-end functions, also cut costs to stay ahead in the AI race. Officials say that this isn't about a poor performance itself, it's all to do with AI. So they're restructuring to stay lean and future ready. So it's not your fault, it's just us becoming more equipped with AI. That's what the company says. Affected employees will be receiving severance packages, health benefits, and a 90-day internal transfer window as well. Amazon's not alone. Target, the company famous in the United States for having nearly 1,900 stores across in the United States. Target is now downsizing. About 1,000 employees of Target are expected to receive layoff notices and another 800 vacant roles to be scrapped. Now, that's roughly 8% of Target's global corporate workforce. Most of them are headquartered in Minneapolis, United States, but unconfirmed reports say that their Indian operations have also been downsized. With about 1,980 US stores, Target has lost ground there to Walmart and Amazon as inflation eats into consumer spending. The layoffs, the company says, is meant to revive profitability and protects its brand value. Well, at the end of it all, one thing stands out really is businesses really always look out for themselves and not for their employees. In the race to cut costs and please shareholders, employees are often the ones bearing the brunt. They're just numbers. Do labor laws even apply to IT sector anymore? Let me bring in our guests joining us. We have Dr. Kiranpreet Kaur, Human Resource Expert and Global Talent Acquisition Strategist. Also, Dr. Sharad Kohli, Founder, KCC Group. Thanks very much, both of you, for joining us. Dr. Sharad Kohli, all to you on Amazon now that begins to cut jobs. We've had this discussion earlier as well on the same show here on News9. And I can't get enough of actually reporting on this because I can't even imagine the impact it will have, how devastating it would be for those losing their jobs abruptly. Give us a little more on Amazon layoffs. What do you sense?
Good evening, Nabila. Good evening to the viewers of News9 and my fellow panelists as well. Well, I think there are two sides of this coin, but let me first answer your question. More impacted are the people working in the Department of Accounts, Department of HR, Department of Admin, where there are routine jobs being done. So those jobs are easier to be automated. Those jobs become easy prey of AI. Well, surprisingly, you wouldn't know that, or probably a lot of people may not know that Amazon has been heavily recruiting on logistics and warehousing. Well, of course, those jobs are not really typically white-collared jobs, but then they badly need people in logistics. Anyway, that's one part of it. So one side of coin is that you're absolutely correct. This is a very severe emotional and financial setback for the person who has to sit back home. And one fine day, suddenly he or she is told, thank you very much. We don't need you anymore. This could be said in a more decent way. But this is what effectively the meaning is. Thank you very much. Please get out of here. We don't need you anymore. You may have done very well all your lifetime, but now probably the company is happy doing without you. So it's a very severe emotional and financial setback. It brings a huge break in the career. I met some of the people who tell me that they even lose their identity. Whatever they have done for all these years, suddenly they find that their identity is no more, or they've lost their identity. I've found some people going into depression as well.
Yeah.
Nabila, to be very frank.
When you quit your job, you still have a justification with your next employer. But when you're laid off, then you feel like as if you're at fault, and that could really kill your morale. I agree.
Absolutely. And then the second side of the coin is, Nabila, when I spoke to some of the corporates, I mean, why I'm giving you both sides of the coin, because I'm also a mentor to so many startups, both in the Silicon Valley and in Bangalore, Gurugram, Pune. So the second side of coin is that the companies say they have all the right to save on their cost, their bottom lines. They have a right to protect their profits. And whenever they find that these costs can be cut, I mean, they can cut corners here and there. That's what they say, that the right to profit is with us. Now, an important aspect that you spoke about was labor laws. Unfortunately, if we talk of India, the labor laws do not really come to your rescue, because the labor law is very categorical. It is between you and the company. A lot of countries do provide protection, but in India, the labor laws do need a lot of refinement, a lot of reforms. As of now, it's between you and the company. When you sign on the dotted line, on the appointment letter, in that very letter, it's written that company reserves that right to terminate you at its convenience. I'm, of course, putting this language
And that's
in a very
a part of the
term.
contract, the employment
Part of
contract.
the contract. So when you sign, you're sort of agreeing to that, but somewhere deep down within, you do realize this clause, but you know that there could be an end at any point of time. Now, I think more important, Nabila, would be people who've lost their jobs or people who are going to lose their jobs. More important part of the discussion would be that what should be done now, apart from the labor law. Me and you, or my fellow panelists, we cannot unfortunately do these reforms. We can only talk about it. We can make these voices reach the government, the corridors of labor ministry, to take out some kind of law.
If anything, it's high time there should be an emergency parliament meet to come together. Parliamentarians must ensure that a law comes into effect where our Indian employees are protected, because this is really shocking. What's the rough idea that you have of the number of layoffs that have happened across the IT sector in the last 2-3 years? A rough idea?
I think I can tell you in percentage terms. I can't tell you in numbers because we are talking of the entire IT sector. I think it's been around more than 10%. And the numbers are still rising as we speak, because the way AI is catching up, it's catching up faster, and the more AI comes, the speedier it gets. The speed increases because it's a catalytic effect, that the more you lay off, the more automation you bring in, the more ideas, because AI is an evolving process. So it makes that process speedier than before. So I think, as I said, if we can hold an emergency parliament session, in Hindi they say, "Aapke muh mein ghee shakkar." If that can be happened, why not? But unfortunately, I think the government, at this point of time, there are labor reforms in the pipeline at all times, and some of them have been done so far. But then unfortunately, because the argument given, Nabila, by the corporates is that how can you block our rights on profits? If we decide to save our costs, then you're sort of, the corporates feel it's their fundamental right to earn profits. So if we save some money by sacking some people, then we have all the right to do that. So I think there is a very fine balance to be struck. And that's where these reforms have to come, that if a person has spent certain number of years in a particular company, has worked hard to bring the company up to this level, then he or she should not be given this golden handshake. I'm putting golden handshake in inverted commas, because even if this is a golden handshake, and by the way, the severance pay in many cases, Nabila, is not enough. Average severance pay, my deep dive says 1 to 3 weeks per year is the average severance pay being given by the corporates around the world. So if you work for 5 years, what do you get? You hardly get what? Probably 15 weeks or maybe even 5 weeks, which is definitely not enough to help you survive till the time you
And I see that India has about 5.8 million tech professionals in the IT sector. So that if you're talking about 10%, that's a good few lakhs who've lost their job, which makes it an emergency situation for the government to rehaul labor laws and bring into the fold the IT sector as well, because that's the largest. And if they're hiring Indian talent, then Indian talent should be protected as well, and our government should ensure that. A quick word from Ms. Preet. tell us a little more, Dr. Kiran Preet, on what's the severance package that's usually the norm across, and what's happening in India? Many of them feel slighted, saying that they're using some clause in a document to kind of escape a severance pay as well.
Thank you for asking that question, Nabila. Unfortunately, this is a petrified situation that we all are going through. On an average, about 500 people are losing job every day, which is a big number. Coming to the severance pay part, roughly about 60 days on an average, an individual gets, which starts from 30 days to 90 days, of course. Unfortunately, if it is a structured organization, you get lucky, you get the severance pay. Otherwise, you're threatened. And a lot of organizations, I hear that they're threatened that they'll not be given an experience letter.
Yeah.
So they cannot land into another job. It's better that, they resign themselves. So there are those tough situations where these people are dealing with. And by the way, they're tax-paying people in India, especially when we're talking about tech people. They make a decent living, and out of which they pay a lot of good amount into taxes. So I think
if they've got to fight the company, is there any way to fight to resist?
There is no particular way, frankly speaking. The only way possible is reskilling, internal mobility, and I think HR leaders need to get real cautious when it comes to hiring. The effect has started from 2022 after the pandemic, because there was a rush. A lot of hiring happened during COVID. A lot of startups came into the picture. Big elephants were created, but now they cannot be placed anymore, and therefore they're losing their credit in the organization. So a lot of job cuts there, therefore.
A final word, I'm going to ask Mr. Kohli on the 3 points that you would expect employees to keep in mind to ensure their morale is high. It can't be high at this point, but well.
Well, a very interesting question, Nabila. I wanted to jump onto that because I hope our voices reach the power corridors of Labour Ministry and something is done. But if that doesn't happen, or that takes longer than we imagine, then here's what these people should do. Point number 1. First of all, hold on to your emotions. Do not feel that this is the end of the world. That is very, very important, because if you lose your balance, if you lose your focus, and if you lose your confidence, most important of all, then it will be very difficult for you to look at your life ahead. That's point number 1. Point number 2, if you're in the tech sector in particular, although this is for all employees, including Nabila, you and other people even working in the manufacturing sector, point number 2 is constant upskilling. Whatever position you are in, whatever favorite you are of your employer, you have to always focus on upskilling. You cannot afford to let your own brand die out. You cannot afford to let your brand become outdated. That's point number 2. Point number 3, which is my favorite, although I remember last time you told me that's not everybody's cup of tea, 1 in a million or more. But I'll tell you a very interesting analysis here. During COVID, when people lost their jobs, you won't believe this number. 63% of the tech professionals decided to go on their own, because I mentored them.
Indians are resilient. So you're saying point number 3 is to start something of your own.
Yes, this could be that turning point. This could be that trigger, Nabila, which you always see with every person. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. And I want this answer, Nabila, not just from the viewers. I want this from you as well. Answer this question. Isn't this true that every person who's employed anywhere has that small flame burning in the heart that, gosh, I could be on my own?
I would say, and I have barely 20 seconds, I would say not everyone. A lot of them like the security of their jobs. They like to come to office, go home without any tension. Not all of them are like you and I. I have, even though I am employed, I still have passion for something else. I am a passionate person. That's also a personality trait. And I don't think all of them have it.
Nabila,
I'm not saying that's a negative point, but people are very comfortable with their jobs.
The number of professionals, working professionals I have met, Nabila, if they could not have the stress of bread and butter, they would like to go on their own. This is, I mean, I'm leaving out the other point because that's a separate discussion and it could be a longer one.
That's it, sir. I genuinely have no more time left. Thank you very much. I really appreciate Mr. Kohli and Kiran Preet for joining us on that.
Thank you.
All right, a quick look at all our top stories. I'll start with the President of India, Draupadi Murmu, today. She really made history. She flew in the Rafale fighter jet. It was quite a spectacle there at the Ambala Air Force Station in Haryana today. The President Draupadi Murmu became the first in the country's history to fly in two IAF fighter aircrafts. The Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, President Draupadi Murmu, took a sortie aboard the Rafale, India's most advanced multi-role combat jet that was piloted by Group Captain Amit Gehani, commanding officer of the 17th Squadron, famously known as the Golden Arrows. There was a 30-minute flight, covered nearly 200 meters at speeds touching 700 kilometers per hour and reached an altitude of 15,000 feet. It was President Murmu's second fighter jet experience. Her first was Sukhoi 30 MKI in 2023. After landing, she called this the most unforgettable and a great experience. And all of these visuals here really give us a sense on the capabilities and the vision that the Indian Air Force has. And these were the fighter jets that also were involved in Operation Sindoor. All right, in Tamil Nadu, major political storm is currently brewing over an alleged cash for jobs racket in the state's municipal administration and water supply department. The ED has written to the Tamil Nadu police urging a probe into what it calls a recruitment scam worth hundreds of crores in Tamil Nadu. ED has submitted a 232-page dossier alleging that candidates paid nearly 25 to 35 lakhs each to secure nearly 2,500 posts, including assistant engineers, junior engineers and sanitary inspectors. In fact, the racket was reportedly unearthed during a bank fraud probe linked to real estate firm True Value Homes, TVH, and a relative of DMK Minister K.N. Nehru. The agency claims powerful politicians and aides. ED claims that aides pocketed the bribes, helping 150 hand-picked candidates among over 1 lakh applicants in early 2024. AIDMK opposition Edapadi Palaniswamy says that this is a hallmark of a sleeplessly corrupt DMK regime, alleging 800 crores that has changed hands and demanding an impartial probe into this cash for jobs scam. Minister K.N. Nehru of the DMK has denied these charges, calling him entirely baseless. He says recruitment was completely transparent, with Anna University conducting exams across 38 districts and publishing results online as well. Nehru stresses that Anna University is autonomous and not under his department, accusing the union government of using ED as a political tool. Well, all eyes now on to see what next, how the DMK responds.